Why does the black man serve the white man? Why does everything the black man do benefit the white man? Why does the black man say freedom is doing what I want to do? And why is it that everything he wants to do enriches the European?
Welcome to the desert of the real.
Peace, family. This is your brother, Mr. Holipsism. Just wanted to ask you guys a question. What I discovered is that most people claiming they want a nation really just want a private club or a clique. So my question is, do you want a nation or do you want a private club? Let me explain what I mean by that. In a private club, everyone thinks the same, they dress the same, they like the same things, they engage in the same activities. In a nation, everyone does not think the same. Everyone does not dress the same. Everyone does not like the same things, nor do they engage in the same activities. In a private club, having a different point of view or expressing yourself differently from the rest of the members usually gets you kicked out of it. In a nation, you have personal freedom and liberty and the right to make whatever choices you want as long as it doesn't hurt anyone else. If we truly believe in nationhood, then you have to realize that every member of that nation is not going to believe in the same things you believe in or worship the same things you do, nor in the same way. In a nation, there will be Christians, Muslims, Hebrew Israelites, Moors, 5%ers, NOI, Buddhists, atheists, etc. So really what you need to do is just get over it. You know, in the immortal words of Ric Flair, if you don't like it, learn to love it because it's the best thing going. You know, as soon as people start thinking like scientists, architects, landlords, owners, pioneers, founding mothers and fathers, instead of tenants and lab rats, the sooner they will realize that infrastructure is secular and has no prejudice. As long as you participate in it, you will empower it and sustain it, and it will be a benefit to everyone involved in it. Then, once your hard infrastructure is laid down and your soft infrastructure institutions are created to maintain your society, at that point you can do exactly what is done in most established nations. Fight over which is the true religion, which is the true political party, whose side God is on, who works for Satan, which group is going to be the butt of society, and who should be discriminated against. You know, business as usual. But first, let's get things in the proper pecking order. First, you have to establish your nation. You have to build your hard infrastructure, and then you have to create your soft institutions. And I think that what's going on, what I see happening is a lot, is that people are trying to create some private club where it's just a bunch of people who think exactly alike building something for themselves. And my thing is, you don't need a nation to do that. You don't actually need to go anywhere to do that. You can stay right here in America and do that. You can create a little town. Plenty of towns for sale in America. You can create a block association. You know, like where a block of y'all get together and buy up some houses and whatever. But when you're talking about nationhood, I'm sorry, but you have to accommodate differences into the mix. I'll give you a perfect example of that. The founding fathers of this country. Now, I don't want to use this country as a model or prototype for us to follow, but a lot of what happened at the beginning of this country, ideologically, that process is something that all nations go through. So what I was reading, I read an article called Friendship and Conflict, the relationship of the U.S. Founding Fathers. And there was this one part in there, like one paragraph I want to read to you. It says, personal and political differences eroded the unity of the Founding Fathers and undermined their attempt to form a classical republic. These conflicts emerged in the face of both domestic and foreign policy issues and irreparably divided the founders along partisan lines. The founders' original vision of a republican government, formed in the Greco-Roman manner, ended up being a casualty of political struggle. The structure that emerged as a result embodied compromise and debate between factions, not the realization of a shared vision. So, in other words, the classical Republican state, which I believe most people, well, not most, but a lot of people wanted, never came to its full fruition. Like that's why the reason why we have now sort of like a hybrid um, government, like is elements of socialism in it, in addition to, a republic. Medicare is a straight up socialist program. You know what I mean? And nobody seems to have a problem with it. Even the people who claim they're Republicans don't have a problem with Medicaid. So my point in stating that is that whatever nation that we as African people establish is going to come as a result of arguing. It's going to come as a result of struggle, ideological differences. It's going to become down to, a lot of times fighting. A lot of the founding fathers were mortal enemies. You know what I'm saying? So it's not going to be all peaches and cream and, you know, daisies and dogs playing with cats and, it's just not going to be all beautiful. It's going to be struggle. It's going to be hard. And it's been hard. That's the reason why we haven't established one. So I just wanted to throw that out there. Just ask yourself, do you want to have um, a situation where you have a bunch of people who think just like you and do just like you, and you basically look and act the same, and you have just groupthink? Because I think you might want to stop saying that you're a nationalist. You're not really a nationalist. You might as well be the president of a motorcycle club. But if you want to talk nationhood is dealing with differences, taking people of different ideologies and different persuasions and having them together and building an environment that they can all be taken care of. It doesn't mean creating laws to make everybody act the way you want them to act. I believe if we're going to have a nation as Black African people, it should be a nation centered around individual freedom and liberty, as well as um, programs and efforts for the whole. Because everybody is not going to be at the same level. In my world, everybody's not going to be as successful equally. There are some people that are not going to be successful because they don't do the work that it takes to be successful. You know what I'm saying? If somebody puts in the hard work and they work it, like I can't be Bruce Lee because Bruce Lee put in the hard work to be who he is. I haven't dedicated myself and my body to that same regimen that he did. So how can I possibly be as successful in martial arts as he was? I can't. And that's fair. You put in the work. It's like a meritocracy in a pure sense. But at the same token, just because you can't be successful doesn't mean that you should be starving in the goddamn streets. So I believe that the goal of government, if we're going to have a government, is to make sure that nobody's starving in the street, that people have food, clothing, and shelter as a basic necessity of life. Now, after you get that taken care of, basic needs taken care of, where people are not in the streets and not starving, then you get into the so-called, and I hate to use this word because everybody has a problem with it, but capitalism, because that's what it is. It's like, the exchange of goods and services and creating industries and businesses and stuff like that. That's what it is, So once you have your basic needs taken care of by the government, I believe that it's okay to engage in capitalism. But I don't believe that capitalism should be involved in the necessities of life. Like, I don't believe that private companies should own the water. I don't believe that private companies should control the electricity, because those are things that we all need. That's just my personal opinion. Now, if you want private industry, have private industry in goods, services, and products. Relegate it to that. But don't get into the quality of life stuff, because then it's going to be exactly like it is here in this country. But anyway, I'm going off on a tangent. That's all I want to say. Holla at you good people later. Peace.